Amid the endless plains of Tanzania, where ancient baobab trees stand solemnly like pillars holding up the sky, I set out to meet the Hadzabe, one of the last remaining hunter-gatherer tribes on Earth. The Hadzabe live in a world that forces you to confront a question most of us rarely dare to ask ourselves. How do humans truly live when they leave behind all the technology we believe is indispensable? That question wasn't a challenge. It felt more like an invitation for me to set aside the comforts I'm used to look back at the roots of our own species, and to relearn how to live slowly, authentically, and fully present. Something the modern world has made us forget for far too long. At sunrise, golden light spills over the rocky outcrops and dry bushes. Their day always begins with a hunt. No tactical plans, no advanced technology, only intuition, poison-tipped arrows, and skills passed down through thousands of generations. As I followed the Hadzabe hunting group, I quickly realized, here, every step carries the weight of survival. The ground vibrated lightly beneath their bare feet, feet that understand every blade of grass, every shift of the wind, every smallest sound. A troop of baboons hid within the canopy ahead. The chase began. The Hadzabe sprinted like the wind, their bodies gliding across the savanna with effortless grace. I ran behind them, my chest on the verge of exploding from the pounding of my heartbeat. Then an arrow was released. Fast, decisive, perfectly precise. I realized that for the Hadzabe, hunting is not violence. It is a cycle of survival that the modern world has long forgotten. One of the most astonishing moments of the journey was watching a Hadzabe hunter climb a towering baobab tree, tens of meters high, using nothing but the strength of his hands and feet. No harness, no safety gear, just pure harmony between the human body and nature. He climbed either to chase a baboon or to collect golden honey, the sweet gold of the savanna. Standing at the base of the massive tree, looking up, I suddenly understood. What technology has taken from us isn't just time, it's the freedom of our own bodies. While the men hunt, Hadza women head out to dig for tubers, an essential food source that sustains the entire community. They laugh, talk, and often bring their children along. With nothing more than a sharpened wooden stick, they can locate tubers buried deep beneath the hard, dry soil. No farms, no fields, only Mother Earth, and a profound respect for nature that has nourished them for thousands of generations. When the hunted baboon is brought back, the Hadza quickly gather and light a fire. Everything is roasted directly over the embers, just as our ancestors likely did more than 10,000 years ago. The rustic, primal flavor of the meat is more than just food. In that moment, it becomes the story of the hunt, of the land, and of the bond between humans and nature. Sitting around that fire, I felt as if I was touching the very history of our species. And I couldn't help but wonder, what has the modern world caused us to forget? This tribe is not a fragment of the past. They are a reminder for our future. Technology may make life easier, but it is nature that gives life its meaning. And while we race through the pace of the modern world, the Hadzabe remind us of a simple truth, that real living is found in the simplest things. Amid the relentless rise of technology and the fast-paced rhythm of modern life, far away in Africa lies a land seemingly forgotten by time, home to a tribe that still lives as their ancestors did thousands of years ago. The Hadzabe, the last true hunter-gatherer tribe on Earth. They maintain their ancient lifestyle of hunting and foraging to this very day. No solid houses, no advanced tools, only bows, fire, and raw instinct. For them, each day is a challenging journey through nature. Sometimes hunting hyenas in the wild, other times chasing African wildcats or ambushing clever monkeys high in the treetops. Today, let's step into a dramatic adventure across the vast savanna, where there is no electricity, no vehicles, and no technology. How do they survive? How does life continue in such a world? As dawn breaks over the dry savanna and the soft light filters through the low shrubs, The hadzabe slowly emerge from their small huts, ready for another day filled with challenges. To face the power of wild animals, they must prepare their essential hunting tools. Hunters sit together, performing the familiar morning ritual. Bows and arrows are carefully prepared. Feathers are bound to arrow shafts, helping them fly straighter and more stable against the wind. Their tools are simple: bows, spears, wooden clubs, but highly effective, enhanced with poisonous sap applied to arrowheads and spear tips. This makes the task of taking down prey easier and safer. Every step requires precision. A small mistake could cause them to miss the prey, or worse, expose them to danger if the animal attacks. Once everything is ready, the hadzabe fix their gaze toward the distant wilderness, where challenges and danger await. They carefully track every sign: snapped branches, faint footprints pressed into the ground. Each clue is examined with absolute focus. When they identify signs of a hyena, the hadzabe silently follow the trail of one of the savanna's most cunning and fierce predators. As the tracks lead them closer to their target, the first arrows are released, striking the hyena in the shoulder. But with a creature like this, one arrow is never enough to bring it down instantly. Even wounded, the animal desperately tries to escape. The chase begins, intense, chaotic, accompanied by the excited shouts of the hunters. They follow the blood trail on the ground to pinpoint where it has fallen. Once found, the hunter steps closer and bows his head, a ritual of gratitude toward nature. They carry the fresh catch over their shoulders and continue deeper into the forest. This time, they encounter tracks of the African wildcat, small, agile, and unpredictable. Hidden behind thick bushes, they wait patiently. When the moment is right, a flurry of arrows shoots forward. The cat bolts, darting through thorny shrubs, struggling against the pain spreading through its body. It cries out, fights, runs a few more meters, then collapses. Its body trembles with each breath before going still. The poison has taken effect, ending the tense pursuit. The Hadza press deeper into the wilderness, aiming for larger prey. The forest becomes unusually quiet. This time, they encounter monkeys, the most cunning and intelligent creatures in these woods. They hide among the treetops, moving with lightning speed. From afar, the hunters wait for that single moment when one monkey strays just enough from the group. Despite the difficulty of hunting such quick animals, their ancestral experience prevails. Armed with only primitive bows and arrows, they succeed. As the sunset paints the trees red, the Hadzabe once again bow their heads, thanking nature, closing another day shaped by instinct, survival, and a harmony between humans and the wild. For them, the hunt is not only a quest for food, but also a way to preserve survival instincts and the wisdom passed down through countless generations. After the long hunt, as the sun sinks behind the dry hills, the Hadzabe hunters gather around the blazing fire in the heart of the savanna. They begin their primal cooking ritual. No seasonings, no modern tools, only fire, stones, and skilled hands. The meat is grilled directly over glowing embers. Fat sizzles, smoke rises, filling the air with the raw aroma of the wild. They need no chopsticks or spoons. Pieces of meat are passed from hand to hand, everyone getting their share, a testament to their strong communal bond. Laughter mixes with the crackling of firewood. Children run around, while the adults enjoy the meal with deep contentment. In the heart of the forest, this feast is not only nourishment, it is a way for the Hadzabe to give thanks to nature, the force that has sustained them for countless generations. Amid the wild landscapes of northern Tanzania, where the wind whispers through sparse treetops and the earth still bears the footprints of countless animals, there remains a tribe living much as their ancestors did thousands of years ago, the Hadzabe. They survive on what nature offers them: hunting, gathering, fire-making, and sharing. In this journey, we follow them through daily life, thrilling hunts, untamed meals, and the ways they preserve their ancient traditions in a rapidly modernizing world. The Hadzabe have existed for thousands of years, living primarily in northern Tanzania. They are one of the last tribes to maintain a lifestyle nearly identical to that of early humans in prehistoric times. From simple, grass-thatched huts, Hadzabe men rise at dawn, preparing for their morning hunt. They sharpen knives and grind stones, crafting bows and arrows, testing the tension of each bowstring. These instinctive, well-practiced movements turn the rawest elements of nature into weapons that have sustained their people for generations. Silently, the hunters leave the camp, carrying tools meticulously prepared beforehand. They rely on millennia-old knowledge and their heightened senses to read the signs of wildlife. Footsteps fall lightly as they weave through the brush, attentive to trembling branches or fresh tracks pressed into the moist earth. Hunts usually begin at dawn or dusk, depending on the behavior of each animal. The hunters move quietly, trailing footprints and listening for the slightest sound around them. For the Hadzabe, hunting is not merely a survival skill, it is a rite of passage. From a young age, children follow seasoned hunters into the wilderness, learning by watching every movement of the generations before them. They combine experience, intuition, and patience to close the distance between themselves and their prey. Once an animal is spotted, the hunters employ age-old strategies, honed through countless hunts. Arrows are released, and a breath-holding chase unfolds across the savanna, a living painting set against the vast African plains. When the hunt is successful, the group returns together to begin their wild feast. They gather wood, start a fire, carve the animal, and prepare for the communal meal. Some tear off pieces of meat still pink and warm, savoring the reward after a long pursuit. Others taste the fresh organs. To them, this is not savagery. It is a profound respect for the life given, ensuring nothing is wasted. Everyone sits in a circle, without tables or individual portions. Meat is passed from hand to hand, from hunter to women to children. They eat in silence, accompanied only by the wind and rustling leaves. Yet within that quiet lies the unbroken thread that has sustained their people through thousands of harsh, untamed years. For the Hadzabe, a meal is not just nourishment. It is a small celebration of victory and sharing. The world outside changes at a breathtaking pace. Smartphones, social media, vehicles, skyscrapers rising across the planet. But in a remote, sun-scorched corner of Tanzania, the Hadzabe remain faithful to the ancient rhythms of life their ancestors once lived. Unlike most peoples, the Hadzabe do not farm or raise livestock. They live solely on what nature provides. They are among the last remaining hunter-gatherer communities on Earth. No fields, no permanent houses, no modern tools. Everything essential to their simple existence comes from the forest, the wind, and the earth. Even in the 21st century, they communicate using a unique click-based language, sharp sounds made with the tongue, distinct from any other language in the world. Day after day, life unfolds quietly on the wild plains. At dawn, men set out with their handmade bows. Women and children wander into the forest to gather berries. When the sun dips below the horizon, the entire tribe gathers around the fire, sharing their catch and retelling the day's stories. For this ancient people, nature is both challenge and refuge, the source of food, connection, and cultural identity passed down through countless generations. How long can such a way of life endure amid the tides of globalization? The question lingers without an answer. Yet perhaps, as long as Hadzabe smoke rises into the early morning sky, a fragment of humanity's past continues quietly, steadfastly alive. Welcome to the latest Hadzabe Tribe channel. I am standing in the heart of Yida Valley, where layers of dry, sun-baked rocks pile upon each other like fragments of time left untouched. The wind from the savanna sweeps through, hot, sharp, like a challenge nature throws my way, testing whether I have the courage to dive deeper into this wild land. Here, everything is written by the forest. The Hadzabe do not cook the way we know it. They communicate with nature through fire, through their hands, and through instincts sharpened over thousands of years. To the Hadzabe, food is not a delicately prepared dish. It is the gift of the forest, offered only after every hunt. Following them, I realize something profound. Every piece of wild meat they hold is not mere food. It is a living fragment of nature. The charred edges from glowing embers mixed with the scent of dry would create a primal symphony modern life has long forgotten. Today, I will follow their footsteps to uncover that flavor, the taste of raw life, of ancestral heritage, and of a culinary tradition found nowhere else but among the last hunters of wild Africa. For the Hadzabe, the moment the sun rises, their daily battle for survival begins. With their signature click-click sounds, they check their bows, tighten the bowstrings, and inspect arrows carefully coated with natural poisons. Tools ready, I join the young hunters as they head toward a rugged day ahead. These young Hadza hunters, they're the soul of this land, carriers of hunting skills passed down through countless generations. We venture into the forest. The deeper we go, the clearer it becomes. The Hadzabe don't look for animals, they read the language of the forest. A broken twig, a faint rustle, a patch of disturbed soil. Everything becomes a clue leading them to hidden creatures. They listen with their whole bodies and see with eyes that recognize every breath of nature. Then they stop. A tiny sign, barely noticeable, causes everyone to grip their bows. Tracks and dug-up soil reveal the presence of a porcupine, a valuable source of meat during scarce times. The Hadzabe communicate through glances and their unique click language, then silently spread out, encircling the burrow like warriors preparing for a crucial battle. The moment the animal emerges, everything happens in a flash. A few short minutes later, the porcupine is secured. I hear a soft cheer, not a cry of triumph, but relief and gratitude. To them, this is not just prey, it is a gift from the forest, earned through patience and respect for nature. After the exhausting hunt, we bring the catch back to camp. Joy shines clearly on every hunter's face. With just a few strokes rubbing dry sticks together, a flame bursts to life so quickly it leaves me astonished, as if they're awakening an old friend of the forest. Using rough stone knives, the Hadzabe clean the animal and place the meat directly over glowing embers. Crackling wood and the smoky aroma of charring meat blend into a sound and scent that is both raw and mesmerizing. An ancient kitchen of nature, no seasoning, no elaborate techniques, only fire and time shape the flavor. When the meat is ready, the elders always taste it first. The outer layer is crisp and smoky, while the inside remains soft and fragrant. The taste is unexpectedly bold and pure. Not just the taste of food, but the taste of the forest, the earth, and survival. We gather around the fire in a circle. Everyone passes pieces of hot meat to one another, eating while recounting the hunt. Laughter echoes across the wild, turning the moment into something unexpectedly warm. After days wandering with these indigenous hunters, experiencing countless wonders of the forest, I'd almost forget the existence of technology. Here, only fire, nature, and people living fully in every moment remain. As darkness blankets the savanna and the firelight reflects on the sun-browned faces of the Hadza hunters, I suddenly understand. This primal flavor does not come from the meat. It comes from the way they live. Simple, truthful, and deeply reverent toward Mother Nature. In an age of convenience that dominates our lives, the Hadzabe still preserve the essence of their ancestors. Hunting with skill, cooking with fire, and eating with gratitude. It is a flavor no restaurant or modern dish can replicate, because it is not created by recipes, but by an unbroken bond between humans and the wild. If there is one lesson I carry with me today, it is this: simplicity can create miracles if we know how to cherish it, just as the Hadza cherish every gift nature grants them. In the farthest reaches of the earth, across the arid lands of northern Tanzania, lives a tribe that still exists much as humankind's earliest ancestors once did hundreds of thousands of years ago. They're the Hadzabe, the last hunter-gatherer community of Africa. Their lives revolve around bows and arrows, fire, and the endless hunts beneath the burning savanna sun. But what has kept them so steadfast in this way of life amid the unstoppable tide of modernization? Let's follow the Hadzabe on a journey through a day of survival, where time seems to have stood still, and every arrow, every flicker of flame tells the story of humanity's origins.
That's okay.
For the Hadzabe, the bow and arrow are indispensable, not merely weapons, but symbols of ancestral knowledge passed down through generations. Gathered around a campfire, the men meticulously inspect their handmade bows, rest-string them, sharpen the arrowheads, and coat them with tree sap for durability. Each arrow is handcrafted from sturdy forest wood, with tips made of sharpened bone or stone. What makes them deadly lies at the very tip: a layer of natural poison extracted from roots or insect glands. Just one scratch can bring down prey in seconds. To conceal their scent, they rub fine ash onto their bodies, allowing them to move through the wilderness unseen. When all is ready, they embark on another hunt, a timeless ritual of courage and endurance against the raw wilderness. Every step through the savanna is a wager with survival. For them, every catch is more than food. It is proof of life, of their bond with the earth. When prey is spotted, the leader signals silently. The hunters scatter into position, encircling the animal with precision and absolute quiet. Then comes the decisive moment. The poisoned arrow whistles through the air, marking the start of an intense chase. The hadzabe can easily hunt most animals they encounter, but wildcats are a different challenge. Small, lightning fast, and hidden deep within the thickets, these creatures demand patience and sharp senses. The hunters listen carefully for every rustle, watching for the faintest movement, and when the perfect moment comes, the arrow is released. Not every hunt ends in success. Yet, for the hadzabe, each failure is a lesson, another piece of experience added to their deep understanding of nature. The hunters return to camp, shoulders heavy with the weight of their triumph. Each animal is not just prey, but a symbol of perseverance, skill, and survival wisdom. The entire community gathers around the fire. Smoke rises, laughter fills the air, and the scent of roasted meat mingles with the wild wind of the savanna, a scene both raw and peaceful. The meat is divided fairly, shared among men, women, and children alike. No one is left out. They eat, talk, and celebrate together, a single large family united by the rhythm of nature. In the glow of the crackling fire, faces darkened by sun and smoke reveal something profound, the enduring spirit of togetherness that has carried the hadzabe through millennia of harsh existence.
Akoko abe makwe on est payé.
The Hadzabe do not farm, raise livestock, or store wealth. They live solely on what nature provides, hunting wild animals, gathering fruits, digging for roots, and collecting honey. Each day is a new survival quest, where skill, instinct, and experience determine life or death. This is one of the world's few remaining societies where community spirit reigns above all else. It is this unity that has allowed the Hadzabe to preserve their simple, harmonious way of life for thousands of years, even as the modern world changes at an unstoppable pace. In a time when humanity drifts ever farther from its roots, the Hadzabe remain as a living mirror of simplicity, resilience, and balance with nature. Their way of life reminds us of something deeply human, the art of sharing, the beauty of gratitude, and the strength that comes from living as one with the earth. Perhaps in their quiet harmony with the wild lies a lesson we modern humans have long forgotten. In the arid lands surrounding Lake Eyasi, Tanzania, the Hadzabe people don't just survive, they redefine what survival means. They are expert hunters, yet they must constantly share their territory with an even fiercer predator, the lion. And when the scent of fresh meat drifts across the savanna, the hunt is no longer about chasing prey. It becomes a battle to reclaim their prize from the claws of the Lion King. Will human cunning, armed only with wooden bows and poison-tipped arrows, be enough to take back their meal from nature's most powerful hunter, or will they pay for their boldness in blood? As the dry season returns, it brings with it a new wave of brutal challenges for both humans and animals. Water disappears, and large prey like antelopes and zebras begin to migrate, drawing behind them packs of hungry lions. For the Hadzabe tribe, food grows scarcer, and danger multiplies with every step. Today, the challenge the Hadzabe tribe faces isn't about hunting prey. It's about confronting the thief that steals it, the lion, powerful, alert, and utterly merciless. Lions, living and hunting in prides, possess overwhelming strength. Once they bring down their prey, their dominance is absolute. The air is thick with the scent of fresh meat, blood, and lion droppings, forming a terrifying no-go zone. The Hadzabe have learned to decode these warning signs. They can read the lion's location by the height of circling vultures. For the Hadzabe, the greatest loss isn't the effort wasted, but the precious source of nourishment about to be devoured. They cannot let their hard-earned meal vanish into the belly of the king of beasts. Each hunter has a distinct role in the group's formation. Every move is executed with precision, resembling a sacred ceremony more than simple preparation for a hunt. Beside them, dried bird feathers are tied to arrow shafts, helping the arrows fly straighter and steadier against the wind. Most crucial of all are their poison-tipped arrows, coated with the deadly resin of the desert rose tree, capable of paralyzing large prey, and in extreme cases, used to ward off even the mightiest foe. Before setting out on their perilous journey, the seasoned hunters of the Hadzabe tribe gather around the fire. They prepare their gear, perform silent rituals, and share hard-earned wisdom with the younger hunters. As dawn breaks, the silhouettes of the Hadzabe slip quietly out of camp, ready for a life-or-death confrontation. They choose their positions carefully according to the wind's direction, hyper-focused to ensure their scent doesn't betray them. The smell of a human is the clearest warning signal a lion can sense. From a distance, they watch the pride of lions, silent as shadows beneath the blazing golden sun, or track the circling vultures overhead to pinpoint where the king of beasts is feasting. From within the tall grass, the lion watches back, its cold, amber eyes glinting with suspicion. Their goal isn't to kill the lion, only to create enough risk to make it retreat. Bowstrings tighten, and poison-tipped arrows are drawn, ready to strike. The Hadzabe know the lion understands what that arrow means, a slow, agonizing death. The great beast hesitates, then turns away. In that split second, a poisoned arrow shoots through the air. Moments later, the Hadzabe man lifts the abandoned carcass high above his head as the sound of dogs barking in triumph echoes through the forest. One, their joy lies not only in the meat they've won back, but in the reaffirmation of their primal instinct, that they are still master hunters, skilled and fearless enough to stand against the rulers of the savannah. The confrontation is over, and this time, victory belongs to the Hadzabe. They understand that true reward doesn't come only from food, but from skill, unity, and the hard-earned wisdom of surviving in the wild. As the fire dies down and only glowing embers remain, the savannah returns to its quiet calm, waiting for the trials of the coming. And tomorrow, When the first light of dawn touches the edge of the rocks, a new battle will begin once more, part of the eternal rhythm of life on the savanna. The Hadzabe, one of the few remaining tribes in northern Tanzania who still live entirely off the wild. And today, their target is the wild boar. Wild boars often hide in dense bushes or burrows. Wild boars can turn fiercely aggressive when cornered. That's why hunting wild boar demands not only the Hadzabe's remarkable tracking skills, but also immense courage, decisiveness, and the ability to manage extreme danger. The Hadzabe's only weapon is the bow, an arrow, tipped with poison made from the sap of the desmodium tree. This toxin is chosen for its slow, paralyzing effect on the prey. Hunters aim for the body, preferably the lungs or abdomen, to accelerate the poison spread. Wild boars have thick skin and fat, so each shot must be powerful and precise enough to pierce this natural armor. The wild boar hunt begins with tracking. The Hadzabe hunters, usually moving in small groups to support one another, follow every trace, analyzing the direction and timing of the boar's movements. The first rule is always to approach from downwind to avoid being detected. The approach phase demands extreme patience. Every bush and mound becomes covered as they move almost silently. The goal isn't to scare the boar into running, but to get close enough for a precise, lethal shot. When a wild boar hides in a burrow or thick brush, the hunters employ a coordinated flushing strategy. They split into groups. It's a calculated maneuver designed to bring the wild boar squarely into the line of fire. Once struck, the boar often bolts. Sometimes covering a long distance before weakening. This is when the Hadzabe's tracking skills truly shine. They follow every drop of blood, every snapped branch, reading the forest like an open book. Hunters must move cautiously, maintain distance, and stay alert for a possible head-on confrontation with a furious animal wielding its tusks. Team coordination is essential. One hunter tracks while others stand ready to cover him. The success of the hunt lies not only in landing the shot, but also in bringing the prey home safely. When the wild boar is brought back to camp, the processing begins quickly and efficiently. A method entirely different from modern cooking techniques, reflecting pure simplicity and practicality. They use a direct fire technique. The meat is then cut into large chunks using their sharp tools. They prefer bigger cuts to retain moisture longer when roasting over high heat. The charred layer is then scraped away using stone blades or rough metal fragments. This method is not only fast, but also sterilizes the surface of the meat while preserving the fat underneath. Once the wild boar is cooked, the rules of food distribution are strictly followed, just as they are when sharing a baboon hunt. Although a boar provides a large amount of meat, the lead hunter receives a slightly larger portion as a reward, but the rest is divided evenly. This isn't merely an act of generosity. It's a system that ensures social security within the tribe. This rule guarantees that the elderly, children, and those who didn't take part in the hunt still receive enough nourishment to survive. Such equality maintains social harmony and strengthens the bonds among all members. Hunting wild boar, with all its risks and rewards, is an essential part of the tribe's life cycle. When the fire dies down, the savanna returns to its quiet calm. By the next sunrise, their journey for sustenance begins anew.